Anytime's great for football, but I know when it feels just right.
I'm gonna kick back, relax.
Watching football on a Friday night.
It's Friday!
And we're gonna be hard to save.
Eagle roll!
It's Friday.
Coast to coast.
The CFL is Canada's game.
We're all pumped up to party!
And we ready for a fight. Kick back, relax.
Watching Friday night football.
The boys are all back.
Playing CFL football.
The game is up for grabs.
It's Friday night football tonight.
It is the second half of our doubleheader. Dedrick Mills looking to become the 11th player in franchise history to win the rushing title. Most rushing yards in a season by a Stamps player since John Cornish in 2013.
I remember that.
Meanwhile, how good has this guy been? Okay, let's not. Justin Rankin. Can I get through Justin Rankin?
He stiff-armed him
16
with
big
two arms.
plays. He can do it in the air. He can do it on the ground. I had four more.
So sensitive, he does.
You know what?
I'm not gonna let you talk about me like that on national TV. John Cornish stiff-armed
You
me
know
with
what's
two
great?
arms.
I'm being told.
What?
Yeah, we have the
He got all.
You know what? We were going to talk about the game, but we're teeing up you getting run over by John Cornish.
He got
This is
stiffed
gonna
on
be
with
great.
two arms.
doesn't exist, Kate.
No, it certainly does. Okay, you know what? They didn't let me talk about this, but we've got the Battle of Alberta here. And for the Calgary Stampeders, they need a victory. Look, there are so many scenarios in the West right now that they just need to take care of business. And Mill, like we said about the Hamilton Tiger Cats before their game tonight, look, they got to come out strong. They got to come out hot because they need this W, and that's what they can control.
Yes, they need a W, as you mentioned, just like the Tiger Cats did. And just as I mentioned, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than what the Tiger Cats face because these Elks are better, and they're gunning for something. You know, they've been on a winning streak. They're not winning streak, but their last third of the season, they've been playing some better football, and they want to end their season on a victory. So it's going to be interesting to see what these Stampeders can do.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, Milton. And I'm looking at this defense that has been on a roll, and I want them to continue doing just what they've been doing because they found certain things that have been working, especially with the injuries that happened with this defense. They are figuring things out. They need the big mo entering into playoffs.
Fine-tune some things, work on some timing things, and get out the game.
Don't get injured. That's the first thing, too. We were looking at every single Tiger Cat player, and we're like, oh, my goodness, just stay healthy at this point. But for these Elk fans, it was a much better second half of the season, looking to end their season on a high. The third and final installment of the Battle of Alberta from Commonwealth. It's coming up next.
A beautiful late October evening in Edmonton plays host to the second half of our Friday night football doubleheader in the final Battle of Alberta this season. The Elks officially eliminated from playoff contention with a loss in BC last week. A lot on the line for Calgary tonight and their star running back, Dedrick Mills.
Yeah, Dedrick Mills had his best year as a pro. He leads the league in rushing and was the Calgary Stampeders nominee for most outstanding player. Speaking of nominees for outstanding player, on the other sideline, again, we're featuring two running backs tonight because Justin Rankin was the nominee for Edmonton. He's second in the CFL in yards from scrimmage.
Mark Killam, his club eliminated last week, but they have won 4 in a row at home here at Commonwealth. Will look to end the year in a 5-game home winning streak, which was unheard of over the last few years. Dave Dickinson, after a 6-3 start, just 4-4 in the second half, but he does have his 6th season with 10+ victories. Calgary won the coin toss, will take the ball to get us started. We've got a split in this season series so far. Calgary winning at home, Edmonton winning that rematch game here at Commonwealth. And for Calgary, if they have any hopes of finishing second in the West, And hosting the semifinal, they'll be looking for a victory here tonight against their provincial rivals. Edmonton, of course, looking to play the role of spoiler against a team that they really don't like that much. We are underway. Final Friday night football of the campaign. Thank you very much for joining us. Horton will take this just inside the 20. Short return. Pushes it outside the 30, and that is where he will be stopped, and that is where we will see Vernon Adams Jr. for the first time this evening.
Yeah, it looks like Vernon Adams has got his game back. When you look at that Toronto game, pretty good efficiency. In fact, best you can get in the efficiency rating department, which takes care of a whole bunch of different stats. But he threw for over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, breaking that losing skid back in Hamilton with a good game and then backing it up with a good game in Toronto.
Calgary has been streaky this year. 2 3-game winning streaks, a 4-game losing streak recently before winning a couple. Now they hand it off to Mills to get us started, and how's that? That's a first down, 12 yards on his first touch of the game.
Well, the outstanding lineman nominee for the Calgary Stampeders is Zach Williams, who's going to get a great block right at the point of attack to get things started and get Dedrick Mills, who wants to pad his lead in the rushing title. For the rushing title this year, James Butler plays tomorrow night. He's in second.
Actually 16 to start the game for Mills. So even more impressive than we first thought. 1st and 10 from the 48. Back on the ground again. Pushes his way through to the second level. And he has another first down for this Calgary offense.
2 nominees up front in the offensive line. One is Chris Fortin, who is the outstanding rookie nominee for Calgary, and of course Zach Williams, outstanding lineman nominee, started every game this season. And there is your MOP nominee for the Calgary Stampeders, the leading rusher in the CFL, Dedrick Mills.
27 yards on 2 carries already in this one, averaging 5.8 yards per carry this season is Mills. Back to him again. Held up this time, but still picks up 5 yards on that first down. Here's a look at Edmonton's defense tonight.
Brandon Barlow up front, a couple of sacks. He leads the defensive line and defensive tackles with 34. Tells you he's been active all year long. There's your nominee for Edmonton for outstanding Canadian, Joel DeBlanco at linebacker. And a couple of nominees in the secondary. Outstanding defensive player, Cordell Jackson. Jalen Garnes for outstanding rookie.
DeBlanco, the first overall pick 2 drafts ago, really starting to settle in with opportunity here in Edmonton. 2nd and 5. Vernon Adams hasn't thrown the ball yet. He will now. He finds Alford, who's wrapped up, but he does have enough for a first down. Tackle made by Ford on the play.
You know, this year with offenses scoring up, veteran quarterbacks like Vernon Adams, good running game like Dedrick Mills, Justin Rankin on the other side. Boy, every time you see a coin toss in the second half of the season, the team that wins it wants to take the ball, get up early, get their offense on the field.
There's an injured Elk on the field. And that is Cordell Jackson, who's just been outstanding so far this season for Edmonton. We'll step away. Dedrick Mills, 32 yards already here tonight, picking up where he left off last week, Suits.
Yeah, another 100-yard game. That's 4 on the season for him. 1 was against the Edmonton Elks. The last time the Calgary Stampeder won the rushing title was back in 22 when Kadeem Carey did it.
Cordell Jackson limped off the field on the sideline for now. Didn't look great. Adams with 3 options to his left. Looks in that direction. Throws more so over the middle. Finds Brooks. He's got a first down and takes it inside the Edmonton 25. So the Elks will have to move some pieces around on defense with Jackson injured.
Well, the big game for Eric Brooks was the Labor Day game. And if you're going to have a big one, that's a good one to get started for Calgary. Big return in that game, got the offense going, has been close to 100 yards a couple of times since then. Become a real weapon for Vernon Adams.
There's Jarrell Cummings, who's come in to play safety. They move Jalen Garnes over into Cordell Jackson's spot. Now they'll hand it off. And Mills is wrapped up on the play by Tyreek Johnson. And some pushing and shoving back at the Edmonton 30. Vernon Adams Jr. tried to break that up, settle his guys down.
Not in your screen just yet, but to the right of your screen, you're going to see one of the defensive backs coming down for the Elks. They're going to help out on the run, probably on first down. You see him right there. As soon as that starts happening and Edmonton has to bring more to the box to try to control Dedrick Mills, that's when Vernon Adams can get the one-on-one matchup he wants.
Calgary just outside that Edmonton red zone. 2nd and 9. Vernon Adams will have 3 out to that wide side left. Edmonton's going to show a little bit of heat. Adams sits in the pocket, gets it away, finds Tevin Jones down to the 5, looking towards the end zone, and he's stopped just short. Tackle made by Garnes, but a 20-yard pickup for the former Edmonton Elk.
First of all, nice protection up front for Vernon Adams. He's got a chance to look through his progressions, go to Tevin Jones and really throw him open. It looked like he had a guy in the zone covered right in front of him. Right there was DeBlanco, but he just threw him inside and threw him open, so Jones had to make that adjustment.
8th play of the drive. Quincy Vaughn into the game. Short yardage quarterback looking to find some space towards the end zone. Did he get there? Yes. Touchdown, Calgary. Quincy Vaughn, 6th rushing touchdown of the campaign.
Second half of the season, this Calgary offensive line has really come together, and they've had to work through some injuries. Again, Josh Coker out for the season for the rest of the year here and into the playoffs. He'll be done, but they've liked the way Preston Nichols has played in that spot. That offensive line getting a good push for Vaughn on the goal line.
Excellent start for Calgary's offense. Vernon Adams 3 for 3 on this drive, 44 yards, and Mills 4 carries for 33 yards. So efficient in the ground, on the ground, and through the air. Paredes knocks one up. It's an 8-play, 78-yard drive that took about the first 5 minutes of the football game. Calgary on top, 7-0.
Win the coin toss, take the ball, get your offense out there and try to get the lead, and that's exactly what Calgary does in drive number 1. It was an 8-play drive, 78 yards, about 5 minutes. First 2 carries by Dedrick Mills, more 10-plus, 16 yards and 11 out of the gate in this drive.
Finished by Quincy Vaughn. He's done that 6 times already this season. As Vernon Adams gets a look on the tablet of that first drive as his team gets ready to kick it away. Edmonton will get it for the first time this evening. Javon Leake back there to return. Jalen Calhoun as well playing for Edmonton tonight. This will come to Leake. Leake trying to find a little bit of space, pushes it out beyond the 35 before he is taken down. And let's give you a look at Cody Fajardo.
Well, in his career, he's 500, 5-5-1 versus Calgary, but that includes time with Saskatchewan, time in Montreal. This year, 500 as well, 6-6 on the season. And with the playoff hopes on the line against the BC Lions, just kind of ran out of gas last week.
Hung tight in the first half.
Yep.
3 interceptions in the second half for Cody in that one. They'll start here on their own 36. Fajardo looks to the right. That's where he throws. He's got a man wide open. Decent enough pickup on first down. That's O.J. Hilaire. Let's take a look at the Edmonton offense.
Well, it's the all-star and outstanding player time of year, so let's go through the list. Outstanding lineman nominee, David Beard, who's played guard and center and guard throughout the season. There's your MOP nominee for the Edmonton Elks, and a brand new contract after the big year for Justin Rankin in that receiving corps.
Signed a 2-year extension through the year 2027 a couple of weeks ago, and a big piece for Edmonton to build around. They'll give it to Rankin. Calgary gets him, but there is a flag thrown on the near side of the field.
Boy, our discussions.
Holding Edmonton number 61. That penalty's declined. It will be third down.
I was going to say our discussions with the Calgary Stampeders this week. Defense, we talked to Derek Moncrief. Moncrief telling us how important it is to focus in on Justin Rankin.
3 times he said it. 3 times he used it against an Edmonton player. He said,
okay,
and directly to him. And I was right there. So, dead ball.
Dead ball, so it's going to give a first down.
Give him a first down.
And we believe we've got another announcement coming here.
Let's go!
From Andre Prue, our referee.
After Calgary declined the first infraction, we had an objectionable conduct, misconduct on Calgary number 12. This will be a first down for Edmonton.
Now there's an interesting swing. Clarence Hicks, who's had just a phenomenal season for this Calgary defense, says something, gets the penalty, and Edmonton not only keeps the ball, but they'll have it on their own 51. Dickinson won't like that. So a fresh set of downs here for Fajardo. Has Rankin to his right. He's going to throw it out near side. Julian Grant's had a nice year. He'll be tackled out of bounds by Roberts, who's been busy on that Calgary defense. 8 yards for Julian Grant. 55th catch of the season for Julian Grant. And it'll be a 2nd and 2 for Edmonton. I'd like to welcome everybody from TSN1 who saw Ticats win a little bit earlier. Edmonton trailing Calgary right now 7-0. Good second effort here. And we'll see where they spot this ball.
So Hamilton, congratulations. Lock up first place in the Eastern Division. They will now host the Eastern Final in the playoffs. Montreal will host the semifinal, and we don't know who's going to cross over just yet. This game will have something to do with that, as will the rest of the games between Winnipeg, that Winnipeg play, Calgary, and BC.
Winnipeg gets Montreal tomorrow. Montreal now locked in, as you mentioned, to 2nd in the East. They will host the crossover. That will be determined tomorrow. BC in Regina to take on the Riders. Suits and I will be there for that one as well. It was a first down on a good extra push from Rankin. So they'll work from the Calgary 49. Fajardo gets rid of it quickly. A little bit of a high ball, but it's held onto on the far side by Victor, who's a big target at 6'4". Here's the Calgary D.
Nominee for outstanding defensive player was Clarence Hicks this year, and had a great season with 11 sacks. Did get that penalty after the whistle. I'm sure Dave Dickinson won't like that. Derek Moncrief is the President's Trophy winner in Calgary for excellence on and off the field. You look in that secondary. How about Adrian Green's year? Tied for first place in interceptions in the CFL.
Shout out to Jalen Hutchinson there as well. He had a phenomenal season. Very well could have been a nominee as well. They'll hand it off to Rankin. He's going to be stopped about a yard and a half short after a pickup of a couple here, and you'd expect Edmonton to keep Fajardo on the field here and try to pick up the first down.
Yeah, interesting, in that BC game, there was one, situation just like this against the Lions, and Coach Killam, when he looked back at it, thought, maybe shouldn't have gone for it on 3rd and long. At 3rd and 12. It was 3rd and 12. Said, but if the process is there, then the decision is right. And, desperate times call for desperate measures at times for the Elks.
3rd and 1 from the gun. Fajardo turns, drops it off. Rankin in trouble, driven back, and that'll do it. Markel Lee busts right through that. Turnover on downs. Rankin never had a shot at it. Calgary's defense comes up big.
I'll get you good. Yeah.
Boy, the Elks have this blocked up nicely, except for one angle by Julian Grant here. He's got to go right off the butt of tight end Mark Evans here. If he gets too wide, Markel Lee can make this play through the gap. You see number 11 just gets a little too wide, and now he can't make that block on the kick out or seal it for Rankin. But they had numbers, and they had the right scheme set up. It was just a bad angle by Julian Grant.
Execution letting them down. Lost 4 yards on the play. Calgary will take over on their own 44 with a 7-0 lead. They'll give it to Mills. Mills, as you saw, a flag fly through the screen there. And it's going to be a hold against Calgary.
Holding. Calgary, number 15. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's the receiver, Rhymes. Guilty party on this one. That'll back him up.
You know, and by the way, like I want to go back to that idea that Mark Killam has to go for it on third downs all the time in this game. He wants to beat his rival. I mean, he wants to finish this season beating Dave Dickinson and the Calgary Stampeders, who are going to the playoffs. And to do that, you go back to conventional wisdom, in my opinion.
VA, time, down the field, broken up. J.J. Ross makes the play over the top of Clark Barnes.
There's a guy who's come on in the back half of the season. Took a while to sink in and figure out the angles, figure out exactly, you know, what the different drops are for the Canadian football width of the field. And once he got the hang of that, he got his 3 interceptions. Great timing on the breakup here on Clark Barnes. High points it, knocks it out of there.
And a nice addition to this team out of Western Illinois. There is an injured Calgary Stampeder on the far side of the field, and we will step away. Calgary facing a 2nd and long. Final week of the season, and we still have some things to sort out here.
Oh boy, let's try and make it real simple. Okay, Calgary wins and BC loses or ties, and the Stamps host the Western semifinal. Calgary will stay in the West no matter what. If BC wins in Saskatchewan tomorrow, they will host the Western semifinal no matter what happens here tonight. How's that?
Did you have that written down?
I did.
You're reading that. I was just saying, oh, that's not off the dome. You had to have that written down. So, yeah, basically, Calgary can only finish 2nd or 3rd. Winnipeg can only finish 3rd or 4th. BC can finish 2nd or 4th still if it is a 3-way tie. But let's just get through this game. We'll reset it tomorrow. Both games for you, of course, on TSN. Vernon Adams, one thing on his mind right now, winning this football game. He's got a 7-0 lead. But he's got a 2nd and 20 right now after that hold a couple of plays ago and multiple flags here. Everybody starts pointing.
Illegal procedure. Calgary, number 67. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
A great year for Zach Williams, but not on that play.
Yeah, one of the few guys up front, Christy Nakanu as well, but one of the few guys up front that played every game in the same position. But both teams kind of got to hit the alarm clock here and get dialed in.
2nd, 25. Get it in the hands of Mills. Usually a good idea. They'll push it up that far sideline. Eventually forced out by Barlow, among others. And Calgary will be forced to kick it away. So they don't do much with that turnover on downs from Edmonton. They'll have to kick it back to them. As the leak goes back, settles in to return this one. A couple of return touchdowns this year.
Been a while, though. Overdue, I would say, for Javon Leake. Outstanding special teams player nominee for the Elks.
Pass it with the kick. 39-yard kick. Leake broke one tackle. And finds the 42. Been an interesting year for Mark Killam and Cody Fajardo, working together and getting this franchise possibly back on track. For more on that, let's send it down to Tom Gazzola.
Thank you, Dusty. Heading into this week, it was interesting talking about Cody Fajardo and Mark Killam and how they both admit that they see the game in a super similar fashion. And Killam said, you know what, I just really resonate with Cody. We told Cody that. He kind of chuckled. He said that reminded him of something that happened a couple of weeks ago. They had an offensive meeting. Killam was not in it. In that meeting, Cody had his message for the team, and then they went on the field. Killam strolled up to the offense, had a few things to say. The offense looked at Cody and said, what is going on here? Killam said the exact same thing Fajardo had in the meeting prior. And when we also talked to Cody in regard to this, he goes, you know what, I think both of us see the game in a screw you, just watch us fashion. And I had to clean up the wording there. It was a little bit more expletive-laden.
It's so true. And, yeah, you know, with the chip on their shoulder, right? I mean, both guys have been told for a long time that, you know, they're not good enough for this role or that role, and certainly a tough season for Cody Fajardo after sort of, you know, the decision that was made in Montreal for Davis Alexander. And
Cody looking to throw here, might take off. There is a flag as he busts out of the pocket. He's close to a first down. He'd have it, but we'll have to pick up what this flag is.
But, you know, he said it's been one of his most challenging years, and at the end of the season...
Illegal contact on receiver, Calgary number 25. This will be a 10-yard penalty that will result in a first down.
Penalty was longer than the run, so they'll take the penalty. But he's going to talk to his family at the end of the year and thinks that, and I would agree with this, he has a lot of football left in him. You know, and this, it really stabilized the position. His steady leadership style has really made the difference for Edmonton. And that's not to say that Trey Ford, his career is over. Maybe over here. You never know.
Yeah.
See, in the offseason, Mark Killam didn't want to discuss that this week. Said we're preparing for our final game and want to win it. But I think Cody will be back. I hope so.
Here's Fajardo, fakes the toss to Rankin. Now he gives it to him, bobbled but caught. Rankin makes another move, takes it down to the 30, and he's got a first down for the home team here tonight.
You're a defensive coordinator and you're playing against Justin Rankin. You have to cover him if he leaves the backfield. You have to cover him. You know, most of the time, especially if you're playing zone, you let the quarterback throw the check down to his back and then everybody rallies to the tackle. But if you do that with Justin Rankin, he'll put moves on you in the open field just like that.
Beat two guys to pick up 13 yards on the play. Edmonton inside the Calgary 30. Now they'll hand it off to Rankin. In trouble again, though, and they've got him for another loss. That is the third time in this game he's been tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Look at what Calgary is committing to stopping Rankin. I mean, they are committing everything they got up front to stop Rankin. DB's coming. That's Moncrief, number 11 in the tackle for loss category. That leads the CFL.
And a monster backfield Moncrief has all year. It's empty this time for Fajardo. Throwing it quickly. Will have a completion, but that will bring up third down and a field goal attempt.
Yeah, take the field goal. Conventional wisdom again. That's what I mean about the decisions for Mark Killam. If you want to win the game, there's a reason why the field position battle is so important in football. Because you get a 2-and-out after a punt, you get a short field, and I don't think he breaks from conventional wisdom if he wants to win this game tonight.
First CFL catch for Jalen Calhoun, playing tonight for Edmonton under the University of Duke. Blanchard has it blocked, and it's going to be grabbed by Calgary. Ball pops out. Markel Lee's on it. There is a flag on the field, and we'll have to sort out that penalty marker. Blocked kick by the Stampeders defense.
Well, that's saying something when you've got a kick that's that close. Usually on the close field goal attempts, the ball pops up pretty quickly, and it's almost impossible to block, even if you get a little penetration at the line of scrimmage. But not so for Miles Brown in this one. He goes right down Main Street, gets the hand up, and gets a piece of it. Let's see what the flag is. The longer field goal attempts are usually those lower
drive it a bit, right?
Yeah, you have to put a little bit more behind it and drive it. But he's going to come right down the A gap here between center and guard. Excuse me, it's B, between guard and tackle, and gets the left hand or right hand on it.
He just bullied his way through there.
Yeah.
On the last play, the kick was deflected, went across the line of scrimmage, and there was a no-yard on Edmonton. This will be a 5-yard penalty that will be enforced at the end of the run. First down, Calgary.
All right, so they do get things sorted out. The ball will be placed on the Calgary 46 after the blocked field goal, the fumble, the no yards.
Calgary's ball.
Yada, yada, yada. Stamps have it.
No, I mentioned the bisque.
Mills stands in behind Vernon Adams. Of course, they'll give it to him. Mills upended, but still a pretty decent pickup on first down. That's his 5th carry of the ball game. This one goes for close to 6 yards.
Yeah, just keep feeding it to him. It's that time of year, though, although tonight, the temperature in the night has been absolutely beautiful. For this late into October, I mean, tremendous weather.
It was a high of 17 degrees in Edmonton today, and at kickoff we were at 15, and you're wearing layers.
I know.
I can't believe it.
I just anticipated what it should be in October here.
I don't think I've ever heard late October here somebody say, can you turn the heater off in the booth? Here's Adams, deep shot down the field, one-on-one, flag on the play, trying to find Brooks. That's J.J. Ross trying to make a case for the pass interference penalty against him. Usually not going to win that.
Did see the pull. I think he's probably making the argument that he got pushed in the process.
They were fighting on it.
Defensive pass interference. Edmonton number 28. The ball will be placed where the infraction occurred. First down.
Let's give you one more look at this as we get set to step away. Kind of pulled him back a little bit before he batted that ball down. Second quarter action coming up here in Edmonton. The Elks shut out in that first quarter, 7-0 Calgary leads, and well, Dedrick Mills is doing his thing again here, isn't he?
Yeah, 39 yards for Dedrick Mills. He now has 1379, so he's trying to pad that lead heading into this final week of the season and win the rushing title. First time since 22 for a Stampeder to win it. And, you know, well on his way. But you see the commitment that the Calgary defense is making to stop or at least try to control Justin Rankin the other way.
Rankin just 2 yards on 6 attempts so far in this one, as Glenn mentioned. Calgary's defense fully committing to stopping the run. Cody Fajardo is 5 of 5, but for just 40 yards. 37-yard swing on that pass interference penalty.
And apparently on the follow-through, Vernon Adams hit DeBlanco's shoulder pad with the throwing hand. Looks like he'll be okay and stay in the game.
The work from the Edmonton 21 with a 7-0 lead. Flipping it ahead to Brooks, busts it down inside the 5, looking for the end zone. And they are going to mark him as short as you could possibly be of a touchdown there.
Tom Rhymes picks up a nice block just past the line of scrimmage. The execution and timing on the play excellent to get Eric Brooks on the outside. How about that spin move in the open field to get right down to the goal line, and they'll rule him down at the 1. That'll go down as a completed pass for VA.
Spin cycle there, didn't he?
But that's one of the easiest ones he'll ever complete. Just throw it kind of up about a foot above your hands.
Quincy Vaughn again trying to push ahead. And this time he will be stopped just short, so they'll likely reload and go at it again with Vaughn, who's already got a touchdown in this game.
These are the type of plays that bring out the rivalry in these two teams. Look at that stop right on the line. Edmonton discipline. You see everyone get down and underneath the pad level of the Calgary offensive line. A little bit of a face mask that wasn't noticed. But they'll go for it again on second down.
Calgary looking for a comfortable lead here early in the second quarter. And this time they'll line up Vaughn as a tight end. VA with Mills to his right. Is that where he's going to put it? Adams has it. Tripped up. Taken down. And they lose 4 yards on the play. Kenneth Logan Jr. tripping up the QB.
When Mark Killam had to move Cordell Jackson to the secondary, he inserted Kenneth Logan at that cover linebacker spot, and he comes around the corner and just gets home quickly, is not fooled by the play action. So he takes the right angle so that if he had to, he could redirect to Dedrick Mills. But when the ball's not handed off, he can get back upfield and get to Vernon Adams, and that's a big one. Saved 4 points, possibly.
12-yard chip shot for Paredes. And he hasn't had a year up to his standards, but he's not going to miss that one. The veteran hammers it through. Calgary on top by 10. He played for Edmonton last year, down to Calgary, making a major impact on that defense. For more on Moncrief, let's send it back down to Tom Gazzola.
Yeah, Dusty, and Derek Moncrief coming into this game, he knows that the Elks aren't going to go down without a fight against their provincial rivals, and he said the key to tonight is stopping Justin Rankin. You said it. They played together last year. They know each other well, and he knows that Justin Rankin can make something out of nothing. He says the key is to get to Cody Fajardo, make things muddy for Fajardo, and then when he gets the ball to Rankin, trust the guy beside you to make the play on Rankin and don't allow anything.
Many hats to the football as you can get when it comes to Justin Rankin. And Derek Moncrief with 11 tackles for losses.
Here's Fajardo, a deep drop, bouncing around the pocket, on the run, out to his right, can't find anybody, has to throw it away.
And he's the first to double figures in tackles for losses since 2018. Guess who did it back then in 2018? Trivia question from my partner.
Is he on our panel?
I will give you the hint that he is, yes, in fact, on our panel.
Milt Stiegel.
No.
Enoch Mwafa.
Yeah. Enoch got it back in 18. Double figures in tackles for losses. And for a guy like Moncrief, it's not, getting to the backfield because you're a D lineman and you're going on a pass rush anyway. It's anticipation, it's film work, it's when those little swing screens come outside. He's talking to Baron Miles right now on the sideline, but when those swing screens happen, or the little bubble screen to a slot back, when you are studying your film and your video and you're seeing it develop and you get there before the play can get going. And that's how you get double figures in tackles for losses. Enoch will tell you that.
Ivy, starting left tackle, off the field. Fajardo looking to throw in a 2nd and 10. Near sideline. Finds middlemost. Moncrief is there to help on the tackle. But that'll bring up 3rd down, and they'll have to punt it away here.
So it's all about recognition. So you jam your guy, take away that curl. As soon as the ball is not thrown to that curl, it's thrown underneath, then react up to the football, make a clean tackle. And Moncrief's been doing it all season long for Calgary. And I want to thank him for making that tackle right after we featured.
11 tackles for a loss, 6 knockdowns, 2 interceptions, over 60 tackles.
Big
Touchdown
year.
as well. Huge. Pitch kick, high kick, that'll bounce. Oh, and that bounces out with that at the one. You don't say it very often, but put it on the highlight reel, eh? Jake Julian drops it out at the 1 yard line. Calgary with a lead, but backed up when we return. Welcome back to Edmonton. I believe the number is 158.3. That's the perfect quarterback rating, right?
Yeah, quarterback efficiency rating, and there's all the stats for a quarterback that are combined in finding that rating. It's a complicated mathematical formula, and VA against Toronto was as good as you can get in the quarterback efficiency rating. Did not throw an interception, 3 touchdown passes, over 200 yards passing.
He averaged 15.2 yards per attempt in that game last week. They'll hand it off here to Mills. Mills gives them a little breathing room. Mogensen first on him. And they'll give him 4 yards up to the Calgary 5.
So second time in his career that he's over 4,000 yards passing. Early in this game, he passed that mark. And this is an opportunity for Vernon Adams to erase all the caveats that happen, or all the buts that happen when it comes to discussions about Vernon Adams. Vernon Adams is great, but he has this game. Or Vernon Adams, my caveat is that, well, he struggles sometimes. He's high and low and all that. He goes deep into the playoffs, into the Grey Cup. All that goes away.
Throwing here from his own end zone, has Rhymes, and a big first down. They'll take it out beyond the 25.
And this is what he's capable of. And what he did in Toronto is what he's capable of. First half of the season, this was VA just dropping back with confidence, stepping into a throw and fitting it into a tight window on a bender route. I mean, this is one of his top receivers in Dom Rhymes, just around the linebackers, in front of the DBs, and the ball right where it had to be. And that bender route, by the way, when you have the production on first down with the run to Dedrick Mills, like they do again here, the linebackers have to stay closer to the line of scrimmage for those swing passes, and that bender from Dom Rhymes in behind them is more likely to be open.
72nd game in a row with a catch for Rhymes. 2nd and 6 for VA. Edmonton's going to send the whole house. VA gets it away, finds Brooks. And he pushes it out for a first down.
Now that's all about recognition. So Vernon Adams saw what you saw, Dustin, which is blitz coming for the Edmonton Elks. They're deciding to load it up and send the blitz. Okay, so Vernon Adams knows, can't block them all. Got to get it out of my hands. And he does in time. And it's this one right here. In the slot. Blitz beater, get open quickly, get your head around, and make sure you're available. Nice pickup by Brooks.
This drive started on the Calgary 1. Adams, pump fake, has a man wide open over here on the left, and he finds him. It's Brooks. Brooks with a little burst, and he's got another first down.
Late hit.
And flags for the late hit out of bounds from Kenneth Logan Jr. Don Rhymes getting in his face.
And VA, the leader, gets in there and just, let's do it on the field.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Edmonton number 20, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, and a first down Calgary.
Yeah, it wasn't malicious by any stretch, but it was late. He's out of bounds, and then that extra little push.
That one little push there.
Yeah, well, and what happens when both players running that fast, that little push can mean he goes flying into the bench, and it's a correct call to be made on the field and throw the flag for that. This drive started at Calgary's own 1 yard line.
This is just the 6th play of the drive, and they work from the Edmonton 37 after that penalty. Adams to he's right. Avoid some traffic down the field. Mills had fallen, never really could get an opportunity to make a play on it, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, Vernon Adams negotiates the pocket here, but he has to throw with a weird arm angle, and because of it, the accuracy isn't there. At the other end, he's got a tailback running a go route, and he tries to redirect, and he can't get. Gets all twisted up there, and Dedrick Mills. Vernon Adams paid the price there, a couple of shots.
He will have 3 receivers out to his left. Looks over the middle. Throws deep down the field. Looking for Alford. Broken up. Tried to find the big fella. J.J. Ross got underneath it.
J.J. Ross makes... J.J. Ross is... This is VA figuring out right away because of the coverage that comes quickly to Dedrick Mills. As I mentioned earlier, Vernon Adams now knows, okay, we got man-to-man because DeBlanco's taking the back right out of the backfield immediately. So I'm going to the man-to-man matchup with my tall receiver in Damian Alford. And J.J. Ross wins the battle there.
Alford is 6'6". J.J. Ross, pretty tall for a cornerback himself. He's 6'2". Paredes puts this one up. And he knocks it through. So after a drive that started on the 1, they come away with 3 points. And they come away with a 13-point lead on just a beautiful Friday night in Edmonton. Guy's creeping me out. Yeah, I have kids. So kids love Halloween.
Of course.
I also used to love Halloween a lot when I was younger. And
again, I enjoyed the candy as a kid.
I enjoy the candy as an adult. Here's Fajardo to his right now. He's going to go down the field, and he finds a man. O.J. Hilaire pulls in another one. And now multiple flags after the play. And some of the big fellas pushing back by the Edmonton 40.
Discipline important for playoffs as Hilaire gets down the sideline, is wide open. Adrian Green looked like he got caught peeking into the backfield on Cody Fajardo. Turns and tries to catch up. This might be coming back.
I think it is. Let's find out what happened there.
After the play, misconduct, unnecessary roughness on Edmonton number 63. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run, back 15-yard, and a first down.
Okay, so it's after the catch.
It was after, so backs it up from the catch.
Yeah, and yards gained. So 15 yards back from where Hilaire came out, went out of bounds.
And if you're thinking, wow, that guy's huge, it's because he is. That's Greg Island starting a right tackle, 6'9", 315 pounds, out of Mississippi State.
In his first start and learning quickly about the rivalry. The Battle of Alberta.
So after the penalty, it's from the 45. Fajardo on the run. Could be in trouble. Gets it away and waiting there and hauling in. Benjamin Victor's got it.
2 receivers in the back half of the season that back-to-back catches that really made a contribution in what was really the Edmonton Elks playoff run. I mean, they kept it alive until the BC game last week. And while I think they'll be great additions next year and get the start coming out of training camp, that's an area on the field I think Edmonton can bring in some competition, the receiving corps. Good years, and I don't want to take anything away from Julian Grant or Curly Gittins, but
losing Dunbar didn't help.
Yeah, exactly. That was early in the season.
He was kind of their wide receiver 1, right? He was sort of the go-to guy, and then they lost him. Some of these guys have come in. Victor out of Ohio State. They've done well, but it'll certainly, I think,
offside. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
They looked really good in the second half of the season. Julian Grant's had a great year. I think Curly Gittins played very well for Edmonton all season. And, you know, they have good players that have put it all on the line for this team all year long. So I don't want to take anything away from their seasons, except for this is an area to me that They need to bring in a bunch of competition and a couple of guys that can take the top off of defense.
Be a priority for Hervey.
Look
in
how
the offseason. Fajardo in a ton of trouble here. He ducked under one guy, and then two more were right there to take him down for a loss on first down.
Charles Wiley, I believe, is the guy who gets the initial pressure coming here, and he hits the top of his helmet after this play saying, I got to remember to break down. Don't just run by him, because a guy like Cody Fajardo and his veteran savvy will duck underneath that arm. Now for Wiley, his teammates rally.
Loss of 4, 2nd and 14. Fajardo dumps it off, setting up a screen for Rankin. Rankin looking for some space, and he finds it. Down to the 10, makes the move. Oh, touchdown, Rankin. What a move on the way to the house. And he does it again. 35 yards for Edmonton's most outstanding player.
Well, they're reviewing whether or not he lost control at the goal line, but what a move in the open field, whether he did or didn't. This is Divine Scott punching it out.
Oh, boy.
Now, I think he recovered it in the end zone anyway, in real time. Or did he just leave it? He just left it there. They're going to take a look at it.
If he just picks that up, it's a touchdown.
Exactly.
But he didn't. Now, did he leave it because it was already signaled a touchdown, so he thought, but, I mean...
First of all, let's just take a look at the play, and you can just enjoy it for what it is, whether it's counting here or not as a touchdown, but good blocking up front.
Play is under review.
Look at that move.
Replay center.
Look at that move. But now, did he have control when he crossed the plane of the goal line? And what an effort by Divine Scott, Bailey Divine Scott, not giving up on the play. It looked like Justin Rankin, after that big move in the open field, he thought, look, I'm in. And then relaxed just for a second. After that move right there, he relaxed, takes a peek. Did that ball come out just before the goal line?
I think it did. They're getting a look at it.
Now, if he picks that up there, doesn't matter. And then at the end of the play, so that's bouncing around now. He doesn't pick it up. No Edmonton Elk picks it up, and Calgary Stampeder does. It's tough to get the number from
that's
this.
That's Delaney Robinson, I believe.
Okay.
Who picked it up and pointed right away. It's going that way. So a good heads-up play by Robinson. With the way that this has looked, I think this touchdown is going to come off the board here.
Well, it's just a matter of whether he
wasn't a touchdown at all. Yeah.
There's two aspects to this review right now. Is did he have control when he crossed the plane, and was it recovered in real time, in immediate recovery?
Let's find out.
Prior to the ball carrier reaching to the goal line, he fumbled the ball, and it was recovered by Calgary. Therefore, it will be Calgary's ball at the 30-yard line with a first down.
Well, an effort play from Divine Scott and a heads-up play from Robinson, and Calgary does not give up the touchdown and will have the ball on their own 30.
Former University of Regina Ram getting his second start at the boundary corner, goes immediately to the recovery. But it looked like Edmonton's almost their entire offense walked right past the ball thinking that it was signaled a touchdown.
Yeah, they all ran by it to celebrate the touchdown. Calgary picks up the ball, and now they've got it. What a turn of events here. They'll hand it off to Mills, who's been quiet since a really good start to the game. 6 yards on that one for Mills. Rankin was right on top of that ball. All he had to do was pick it up, and it would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, you know, and he obviously thought that it was signaled and the play was over, which is why he didn't immediately recover it. It, you know, bounced at his feet twice.
Second and 4. Edmonton trying to defend against this run. Mills turns his back, pushes it ahead. He spotted, I think, just short of a first down, about a yard.
Just a little bit of what Edmonton has gone through this season in a nutshell. You know, some great performances. That was an unbelievable screen pass run from Justin Rankin. But then just drop the focus for a split second.
Pushing it ahead, and that will be a first down for Calgary with just over 3 minutes remaining here in the first half.
But here's the lesson in that play. The lesson, if you're a young football player watching this game, don't ever quit, no matter what. Rankin was crossing the goal line. He was about to take a step to cross the goal line, and Devine Scott punched it out. Great effort.
Mark Killam looking for answers. Down 13-0 with 3 minutes left.
It is the grand slam of all halftimes coming up.
I like that.
Why? I mean, it's been a great game.
Yes.
We get to break that down, and then we get to break down the earlier game, and then Winnipeg, some interesting decisions for their game against the Alouettes tomorrow. You okay, Chaz?
Good. Looking at it.
Looking for it.
Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium. A little bit of an early Halloween celebration, and well, things have been scary so far for Edmonton. Shutout to this point by Calgary. Some pressure on Adams. Can he get away? Not this time. He will be taken down. Looked like it was the linebacker, Kenneth Logan Jr., who fought through that offensive line to find the quarterback.
Well, it's a combination rush. First of all, defensive end's got to stay upfield so that Logan can come through the next gap inside. If you don't occupy the tackle, you don't have a play. But there it is. Dedrick Mills tries his best to step up and make the block. But nice sack by Kenneth Logan Jr.
That's his second sack of the season, 2nd and 13. Adams under a little bit of pressure again. This time uses his legs, escapes, he's on the run, makes a move, and he's got a first down. VA with a little bit of magic to keep this drive alive.
Starts if he gets outside of pressure, because there's pressure coming up the field. Now he's got to get outside that to even have a chance to make this play. And then we're seeing some nice moves in the open field with these guys with the ball in their hands. Watch outside. It was just Justin Rankin with a nice move. Look at this one. Plant that left foot in the ground. Bounce outside. Tyrell Ford grabbing at air.
This time they'll hand it off to Mills. Little spin move to not just get back to the line of scrimmage, but actually gain a couple of yards after that initial contact was behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Noah Taylor, I believe, got first contact behind the line. He's had a good season, too, in the second half, getting a chance to start. I think Taylor slowed Mills down, and that's really what you want to do against a great back, and we've got a lot of them, but Taylor slowed him down, allowed his teammates to get there and limit the game. Hard to stop these guys completely, but trying to contain them, keep them under 75 yards, you got a chance.
Try to get the other team in 2nd and long.
Yeah.
2nd and 8 here for Adams. Edmonton will send 5. VA looks to his right, down the field. Laid it in there, and they're going to say it was Rhymes on the far side. Their officials are looking for a little bit of help. The Calgary plays center on this one.
Real nice
13-yard pickup.
Sorry, Dustin. Real nice protection up front, though. And Chris Fortin, the center, who is a nominee for Outstanding Rookie, and I think is a front runner to win the award, certainly out of the West, is got that picked up nicely up front.
Great footwork by Rhymes. Back on the ground to Mills, and he takes it down inside the 35 for an 8-yard pickup. Let's give you another look at Rhymes. He got that 1 foot just inside.
You only need one. And timing of the throws excellent.
Yeah, they're both down anyway.
The left and the right toe. Used to do that at the curb, right? Playing catch out in front of the front yard, right at the curb. One toe in.
Second and 2. Back to Mills. Looks like he ran into Rhymes, and they both end up going down, and that'll be 3rd down coming up, no gain.
Yeah, Shaylin Garnes was creating a bit of a Rhymes blockage there. He took on Dom Rhymes just off the line of scrimmage and then started driving him back a little bit, and he got right in the run lane. Rhymes made an excellent block on that Eric Brooks run down in the goal line earlier in the game.
Paredes out on the field. This will be about a 41-yard attempt. He's at 80.9% on the year. That's his lowest since his rookie season, which was back in 2011. But he's over 87% on his career. This one from 41. And he sneaks it inside that left upright. And Calgary goes on top. 16-0, 3 points after it looked like they were going 6 the other way with that guy, Justin Rankin.
Well, remember back in the rematch here in Edmonton, after losing in Calgary on the Labor Day weekend, Rankin had himself a game against Calgary in the rematch. We're talking over 200 yards rushing in this first half. Take the screen pass out of it. That's a reception and run. He's at 6 yards. Or excuse me, 2 yards on 8 touches.
He's not gained a yard in the second quarter. Now they haven't given him a ton in the second quarter on the ground. Here's Fajardo trying to spin away. Short gain for Cody.
We talked to Adrian Green this week, his 6 interceptions, but we wanted to talk about those interceptions, the fact that he's in a tie for the league lead with 3 other players in the league. And he talked immediately about Justin Rankin. Like, he took the conversation there. He said, we need 12 hats on number 5. We need to contain him. When a corner way down here is talking about stopping the run, you know they're focused in on him.
Fajardo throwing here near side. Julian Grant will be held on to by Green. Big Hill in there as well, but that extra effort will give them a first down with 32 seconds on the clock.
This is the type of play that Green has taken at least half, maybe 4 of his 6 back, and a couple for touchdowns. When you run those deep outs, better be on time.
Cody, far side of the field, lays one out there, bouncing around, and is that taken away? Jalen Grant has his 3rd of the season. He's going to run it back to about midfield. And another turnover for the Double E.
Jalen Grant is working with Adrian Green. Now, Green has this area, this flat area, so this is not his responsibility, but Jalen Grant's going to recover, fight for the football, tip it up, and then keep it alive on the way down. He got caught a little shallow, but recovered quickly, got to the high point, and then kept it alive.
Interception,
I think you're saying he was touched.
The Calgary player was down with contact. Timer, please reset the game clock to read 23 seconds.
That takes away the return, but not the interception.
Interception is still good. His third of the season of Oregon State.
There's a guy who's not happy at this moment. 2 yards from his tailback, and Calgary Stampeders this year, when they're on the right side of that turnover give-takeaway category, they flat out win. That's it, 9-0 when they win the turnover battle. And they're up in this first half at +3 and have the 16-0 lead.
And Edmonton, who has one of the better turnover ratios in the league, struggling in the second half last week with 3 interceptions and 3 more turnovers in the first half this week. Vernon Adams and his Calgary Stampeders with a convincing 16-0 victory on the road. Offense has done a pretty good job. Defense has not given up anything just yet, and once again, a big part of that, Derek Moncrief.
12 hats to the ball, that's what he said. Make it muddy, as Tom mentioned earlier in the half, for Cody Fajardo, and then when he throws it out to Rankin, 12 hats to the ball.
And he's standing by with Tom Gazzola.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Derek, with the Elks like that to no points, take away what was a touchdown and get a last-yard play like that, and then the last-second interception. What does that say about the way you guys' defense is performing?
Now, we're just coming out focused right now, just trying to execute on all 3 phases. We just got to hold up our end on defense and try to get the shutout and get the win.
How about the emotions? Because I know there was some chippiness there. Do you have to keep that in check in this last half of football?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You always got to have discipline. You always got to have poise. And it's all about just playing football and just playing hard for 4 quarters.
Appreciate the time, Derek.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Derek Moncrief and the Stamps up big on the Elks, 16-0 at the half. Let's send it to Kate and the panel.
Tom, that panel would be Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stiegel, and a very nice start by the Calgary Stampeders. We said it in the Hamilton game. We said it in this game. These teams need to take care of business, and so far, that's exactly what they're doing. And when it comes to the Calgary Stampeders, I think we all noticed at the beginning of this game, they were really containing one Justin Rankin. That's what you have to do when you're playing Edmonton if you have any shot at victory. But then Rankin, and you know what? He had the most incredible move there.
What?
But then just lost the concentration for a little bit. A great play by the Calgary Stampeders as well, but overall, I mean, that was the best shot for the Elks in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at Justin Rankin, he's one of the most exciting running backs in this league, and there's a lot of really good ones, especially this year, that had great seasons, but when you look at the body of work that he has and the amount of moves that he possesses and the different things that he can do, he can beat you off. Oh my, look at that. Oh, he just undressed the DB right there. But the ability to have the speed to hit a home run anytime and to be able to run through defenders as well. He can do that any night. And just like you mentioned, Kate, a lot of games that we watched with this man in the backfield, okay, Justin Rankin's not going to have a game. He's not going to have a good game, and it just takes one run with this man, and he can always make it to the end zone.
Yeah, I just want to see, for me, I want to see Vernon Adams not turn the ball over, take care of the rock, and get this offense rolling. I think he'll probably play through the third quarter. If they can get a decent lead here, I get him out of the game, show something in the third quarter, and get him out. But, by the way, if we're ranking these running backs,
see what you did.
I'd like to see him in the playoffs, like you talk about, in that bad weather at this time of year, because he shows he's powerful. Then you saw his juking ability. He's a special dude. It's been fun to watch this year.
Yeah, both of these running backs are pretty good.
Absolutely.
You talk about Rankin, some of the moves he has, explosiveness. I think it's 3 touchdowns over 55 yards for a running back. That's impressive. And also Mills, once again, is having a good, solid first half, 66 yards rushing. And he, like I said this in the pregame, he's going to be their guy that's going to carry them to how far they can go when they get to the playoffs. Vernon Adams is playing consistent, and that's what they need him to do. Not turn the ball over, but it's going to be Dietrich Mills because he's so powerful, not only running the ball, but catching the ball out of the backfield, and he gets going downfield, and none of those DBs and smaller linebackers. We know Enoch would have never wanted to tackle him, so once he gets those shoulders going downfield, he's a tough man to tackle. So good for these Calgary Stampeders, taking care of business so far.
I'm going to put it out there. Do we see Trey Ford in the second half?
Ooh. I think so.
You think so?
I think so. I think they need to see him. He hasn't played in how long?
I would put him out. I would put him out there. You need to kind of see.
Do they need to see him?
You kind of got to see what you have. Another example of what you know what you have in Cody Fajardo. You kind of want to get another sample of what you have in Cody.
And then
what you have in Trey.
Yeah.
You know, you're not agreeing.
I mean, I think they've given him enough games. I think they know what they have.
I was about to say, I think they're giving up on him.
No, I mean, that too, but they gave him enough games. I think they know what they have in Trey Ford. It's going to be interesting to see who they put, Trey Ford or their other quarterback.
I mean, they have nothing to lose at this point.
No,
I mean,
they don't.
Exactly. So, I mean, I wouldn't be absolutely shocked, but in the meantime, Calgary Stampeders needing to win this one. Pardon me?
Evaluate your assets.
I agree, and these are my assets, and they're great. We got more coming up after this.
I'm gonna get you, it's a matter of fact. I'm gonna get you, don't you worry about that. You can bet your bottom dollar in time you're gonna be mine. Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you real good. And you can bet your.
Well, if you thought tonight was fun in the CFL, we have great news for you. It is another doubleheader tomorrow night. And get this, we're going to do a pregame for you tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. It is the BC Lions and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Look, there's still, I love this. It's the last weekend of the regular season, and there's still so much on the line. The BC Lions are red hot. They've won 5 in a row. But first, at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, you can watch the Montreal Alouettes take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. This one, by the way, I mean, that's super early before any other games on the sporting calendar I haven't heard of that are going on tomorrow as well. So your entire day filled by CFL football. You have to love it. Now, when it comes to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, really interesting decision when we saw the depth charts here. 8 of their starters not in this game tomorrow. It seems like they have just given up. They're like, okay, we're going to be crossing over. We're going to head to Montreal, and this is what we choose. And we chose rest over winning a game and jockeying for position for the Western semifinal. But overall, just a very interesting decision, Milts.
Are you saying my Blue Bombers are giving up? No. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely not.
What are you saying, Milt?
What are you saying?
You know what? I still believe in them. I don't understand this decision. You know, this team, and I spoke of this, I think last week, this team has been a championship team. They've had that mindset. And this is not a championship mindset.
Did you say this team like this year, or?
I said in past years. They've been a championship team. I'm sorry, they've been to 5 straight Grey Cups. They've been a championship team.
Can we just end these roles and have a conversation?
We can do that.
What do you mean?
Let's talk.
Okay,
Let's talk.
What do you mean they're a championship team and you don't like the decision?
They've had a championship mindset. They don't have a championship mindset.
Why?
This is not a championship mindset. When you have a championship mindset, it's almost like they're saying, we want to cross over to the East. We don't want to stay into the West.
There's no quit. They didn't quit. I don't think they quit. This is the path. This is the path of least resistance. There's no question.
But that's not a championship mindset.
Yes, it is. You want to win a championship, and the best decision for them is to be healthy. And if being healthy and crossing over to the East, that's probably a better path for them to play outdoor games for certain. Guarantee outdoor games healthy is the best path for this Winnipeg team to be playing in Winnipeg in a few weeks at the Grey Cup.
So that's them saying, I don't want to face Nathan Rourke. I don't want to face VA. I don't want to stay in the West. I want to cross over to the East because I feel I got a better opportunity to make it to the Grey Cup through the East and the West. Is that what you're saying?
In culmination with the fact that I'm resting my best players. So now you're resting the guys you want to rest who may need rest, and you're playing the schedule or the path that's the best for you. Absolutely. That's not quit. That's just smart.
I wonder if Michael Shea called Jason Moss and said, hey, you resting your players? I'm resting mine too. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why you're
what would you do?
Players.
What would you do, Eno?
I'm playing my guys. I don't think you've played well enough this season or to prove that this is the team that you're going into. Yes, you might want to say that, hey, look, this is as veteran a team as can be in the CFL. But at the same time, this isn't the 5 years that you talk about going into the Grey Cup. That's not the season that they've had.
It hasn't. But if Winnipeg makes the Grey Cup, they're going to be in the visitors' locker room. Brad Foddy, who's been the equipment manager there forever, he's going to have to go to the visitors' locker room.
With his shorts.
Don't do that to Brad.
We got a 16-0 ball game. Back to Edmonton after this.
Love you, Brad.
As Foddy.
Stampeders in control on the road, leading 16-0. Can Edmonton get Justin Rankin going? He's standing by with Tom Gazzola.
Justin, a couple of tough turns of events with some turnovers and stuff. Just how do you look at it? I know that play for you was tough too.
Yeah, I just got to finish, right? Like, that's unfortunate. You know, that's just me not finishing the play. I got to finish with the end zone.
All right, last half of football for you guys. I know you guys want to kind of stick it to your provincial rivals. How do you look at this last half?
Yeah, man, we got to play a lot better, right? Like, we was real flat. The good thing about it, I think this team has always been a fighting team, you know, to the very end. So, you know, we got to come out this half and we got to swing.
Appreciate the time, Justin.
Appreciate it.
Just 2 rushing yards in the first half for Rankin. Tied for the team lead with 47 yards through the air as well, but they'd like to get him going on the ground. They will need to get him going on the ground likely if they have any hopes of coming back and ruining this evening for Calgary. We are underway. Edmonton will have the ball first, and it is Javon Leake, and he's tripped up and taken down. Great tackle by Ben LaBrosse and the Calgary special teams to start the half.
Today's third quarter was brought to you by...
Well, an interesting discussion from the panel about who should play quarterback for Edmonton in this second half as their season sort of winds down. There's the comparison between the two and Vernon Adams. V8 will take Calgary as far as they can go without him. Don't like their chances. And will we see Trey Ford for Edmonton in this second half?
Well, listed as the third quarterback on the depth chart this week. Which
Cole Snyder.
A lot of discussion in Edmonton the last couple of days seeing that.
Edmonton number 61, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Mark Evans. Called on the play.
Not ideal to be down by 16. Make your adjustments at halftime. Understand that you've got to play better, and then get a 5-yard penalty on your very first play in the second half.
That's definitely not what was discussed at halftime, I would think. So it'll be a 1st and 15 for Fajardo to get his starter here. Calgary sends 5. Cody deep drop, now goes over the middle, has a man wide open. First down, and that is Calhoun, his second CFL catch. This one goes for the first down.
Yeah, Jalen Calhoun, who gets a chance to play in this game. He signed as a free agent at the end of the calendar year last year into December with Edmonton. So he's been here on the PR. Guy that growing up in North Carolina at high school played quarterback.
17 receiving touchdowns during his career at Duke.
I want to see high potential in guys like, whether it's a DB or a receiver who played quarterback growing up, quarterback in high school, because they really have a great perspective on what the quarterback needs to see. And, you know, how he's working, leveraging a player, and gives you a jump as a receiver. Moved to the receiver spot at Duke. But gets a chance to show the coaching staff a little something here in the final game of the regular season.
Playing in the spot of Curly Gittens Jr. Fajardo spins away. Now looks down the field. Near side, Julian Grant's got it at the 50. And that'll be a first down for Edmonton. 19-yard strike from Fajardo to one of his favorite targets this season.
Yeah, this blind turn by Cody Fajardo, this is in his tool belt. This is like, if he was Batman, this would be one of his tools in the tool belt. Just that little spin move out. He had big time pressure coming right down the middle. And he does that little spin to give himself some time, and Julian Grant said, "I'm here, man. You need me."
This time they'll give it to Rankin. Found some positive yardage finally. They got him in the backfield multiple times in the first half.
Well, listen, the way that Edmonton can, use Rankin, even though he might not be running like he has all season, use him in the play action game, use him in the screen game. We saw the big run in the screen game. Get him out into space. There's a lot of different ways you can get the ball in his hands without just handing it off between the tackles.
Rankin got 3 2nd and 7 for Fajardo. And incomplete, trying to find middlemost, but Moncrief there in coverage. And looks like Julian will come out to hold.
A little hitch, and look at the quick close by Moncrief. I mean, he closes so quickly. No chance there, and you know he goes off the throwing motion of Cody Fajardo.
51-yard attempts for Blanchard. His season long is 52. That one is up, and it's got enough juice. Edmonton finds points early here in the second half, but they still trail 16-3. Well, Vernon Adams Jr., most importantly to him, he had a 16-0 lead at halftime and looked pretty steady in that first half.
Yeah, he did. He got Dedrick Mills going early in the first quarter with a couple of good runs on their opening drive that ended in a touchdown. So he had the lead early in this game. But some real nice throws. This was a great run and a nice move in the open field, but some real good throws on the bender routes. Remember one to Dom Rhymes in that first half for a first down. They started one drive from their own one and got it all the way down the other side of the field.
Calgary looking for their third three-game winning streak of the season. They'll give it to Mills, breaks a couple of tackles, takes it down inside the 50. There is a flag back at the Calgary 45, and Vernon Adams Jr. is already taking a couple of steps back. I think you can tell it's against Calgary.
Yep.
Dave's reaction.
Calgary number 65, 10-yard penalty. First down repeated.
A big one from Mills. Wiped off the board. It was a 25-yard gain. It's going to come back the other way. Nakanu, the guilty party.
Yeah, Chrissy Nakanu, and it was holding on Mogeson. Well, Dave Dickinson didn't like it, but
so they'll back him up 10 instead of the 25-yard gain. Mills a couple steps up to the right of Adams. VA fakes it, finds Brooks, and Brooks has a little bit of space, and he's a speedster. He'll take it down to the 40. Still going on the run. Brooks to the 20. Can they track him down at the 10? They do. Ball pops out, but it's blown down. And a big pickup from Brooks. He's going to win a foot race most of the time. They've used him in the return game over the last few years. This one goes for 64. You can see that speed on display.
This is the ride and decide play from Vernon Adams, and the second time in this game that he's thrown a receiver open. First one was Tevin Jones in that first half. That's to Brooks, throwing it to the spot away from the defender, so Brooks has a chance to turn inside and open it up with his great speed.
It was Ford, I believe, who eventually got over there to save the touchdown. Brooks is at 136 yards on 5 catches. Now they'll go to Mills, puts his shoulder down, takes it to the 5-yard line.
RPO type play, run pass option, or as Dave Dickinson likes to call them, the run pass option, where the quarterback or the tailback can run it. Stop it here. Defender was on the outside shoulder, and that's exactly where the placement of the ball was, to the inside, to give Brooks a chance to open up that way and take off and get on his horse.
Second and goal for VA from the Edmonton 5. Feels some heat, trying to escape, stays on his feet, spins to his left. Look at Vernon Adams here. Now he just tosses it ahead, and they'll be down inside the 5. That is a lot of running around for just a couple of yards to Dom Rhymes.
Well, and I think it's a good decision, even though Dom Rhymes might be saying, well, wait a minute, this was just who's going to get tackled.
That's what you do for your quarterback.
Yeah. Here, give it to me and I'll get tackled. Either way, they were going to get him on the same spot. But a good decision, you know, take as many hits away from your starting quarterback as you possibly can. Got an Edmonton Elk down after the play.
It's Jordan Williams, starting defensive tackle tonight. He's down. Chatting with the athletic therapists for Edmonton. Vernon Adams and the Calgary offense on a 3rd and goal from the Edmonton 3 still out there. We have seen Paredes have a 12-yard field goal earlier in this one.
So here's the...
And now they are going to bring Paredes out.
And make it a 16-point game. Interesting discussion on the quarterback situation for both teams from the panel at halftime when talked about if Calgary scores here with the field goal and then gets another one, is that it for Vernon Adams?
Like if they have a 22-point lead.
Three possession lead, yeah. Again, they have to win, keep their hopes alive to host the playoff game.
Storylines that we will follow in the second half of this game. Right now, Stampeders in control. Well, as we get set to wrap up our Friday night football doubleheader, we've got another one coming your way tomorrow. Alouettes and Bombers will get us started. And then Nathan Rourke and the BC Lions heading out to take on the Rough Riders. The road to the Grey Cup will go through Saskatchewan in the West.
A lot of rest versus rust discussions going on with some quarterbacks and different players in some of those games. Montreal knows where they're going to finish in the playoffs. They host the semi.
It's not even so much rest as opposed to just avoidance of injury. Right? Keep everybody healthy. Here's Fajardo, a little fake, buys a little bit of space for himself, takes off, and he's still going. Cody Fajardo down inside the 50. That is Edmonton's longest running play of the ball game, and in business here midway through the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and I think a couple of defenders for Calgary thought he was going to run out of bounds a couple of times here. He pulls it on the RPO look, and then you can never jump. Devine Scott looks at him and goes, "Oh, hey, you still had some room. I thought you were going to run out of bounds right there."
First down on that Calgary 47. This time they will hand it off. And that is actually Isaiah Knight into the game at running back. Isaiah Knight, the 22nd overall pick in the past 25 draft, 3rd rounder, had 21 touchdowns and over 3,600 yards in 37 games with the University of British Columbia.
Yeah, UBC. Time tailback there, and that was just let's go find some contact kind of run.
So an opportunity here in the second half to get a first look at Isaiah Knight. Fajardo to his left. Hilaire is there, and that's a first down for Edmonton.
And this is in no way Mark Killam saying that Justin Rankin is the reason that they're behind or anything like that. This is just a chance to get some young players on the field in a real game and maybe get a chance to get ahead of the evaluation process for next year for Edmonton.
Knight, just 22 years old, 6 feet tall, listed at 212 pounds. Quick hitter, nice move. Calhoun down inside the 10. That's another player who's getting a look here tonight from Edmonton. That's his 3rd catch of the ball game.
Yeah, and a little fake to Isaiah Knight first, and then Calhoun, he recognizes the soft spot. Again, former quarterback, knows what a zone defense looks like, knows where that soft spot might be, and finds it. And a 27-yard gain for Calhoun.
First and goal from the Calgary 9. Edmonton thought they found the end zone in the first half, but it was ruled a fumble instead. Fajardo keeps it, drops it in there, far side, and Calhoun onto the roster, into the lineup, and into the end zone. His first CFL touchdown, and the Elks have some life.
Nice touch pass from Cody Fajardo to drop it into Calhoun. And yeah, keep this one. Put it in your trophy case. Some concentration there. I think it was Derek Moncrief that was kind of waving at it as it went over his head, but a couple nice catches on that drive.
He's been targeted 4 times. He caught them all. He's got 68 yards and a touchdown in his CFL debut. And we have a 9-point game midway through the third quarter at Commonwealth. Cody Fajardo finds a new weapon in the lineup for Edmonton.
Well, this is why when your team is out of the playoffs, you play some young guys to see what you got. This is Derek Moncrief. You're going to see the recognition again on this out to Jalen Calhoun. He recognizes it. Stop it there. He sees the ball coming out, and he knows exactly where it's going. He's going to undercut this, and then a little bit of a stumble right here. He kind of trips on his heel, goes down. Good concentration from Jalen Calhoun. He's got his first pro touchdown in Canada. Play the young guys. See what you got in them.
That's something to build on for him. He's going to be back next year. A little bit of confidence maybe coming into camp.
And maybe a fan says, hey, I like this guy. Come back and see him next year.
There's a flag as Horton takes off up the field, finds midfield, tippy toes on the sideline, and he's still going down to the 20. An excellent return for the Stampeders, but is he coming back?
I think it is.
Bring the return. Holding. Calgary. This will be a 10-yard penalty and a first down.
I will say this fine piece of work, though, from Horton on this return.
Absolutely. A great run on the return. And no number on the holding call. Is it Justin Herdman-Reed?
80-yard return, wiped off the board.
Well, we brought up his name because there was a lot of discussion on the Calgary sideline with him. Didn't get a number on the holding call.
This drive will start on the Calgary 20. The lead is now 9. Vernon Adams, 11 of 14, 205 yards through 2.5 quarters. Gets it away, and he drops it in there neatly for Barnes. First catch of the game for Barnes. He was banged up a little bit in the first half, but this is a beautiful 21-yard throw from VA.
Yeah, well, let's show that great throw and catch first of all, and then we'll go back to the penalty for Calgary fans. I believe it was Herdman-Reed, number 59. But you're going to see us on this return. You see right here, there's a takedown. 80-yard return comes out.
That goes nowhere on first down, as Mills gets just a yard on his 14th carry of the ball game. So it'll be a 2nd and 9 here for Vernon Adams. Edmonton, how many will they send? They're going to send about 8. VA feeling the pressure's taken down. The ball pops out, but they're going to say it's blown down at the 35. And Edmonton decided to bring a significant amount of pressure, and that time it paid off.
I know Mogensen comes down the middle. I believe he's picked up, but you're right, pressure is coming. Clement's off the edge. I think he gets home playing for Joel DeBlanco, who's not going to return to this second half.
DeBlanco is out for the rest of the game, as is Cordell Jackson, two of the brightest stars in the second half of the season on this Edmonton defense. Clements gets an opportunity, makes a play, and now Bassett will have to kick it away. Great tackle down the field, but there is a flag from League Lacrosse. Was he in there maybe a little bit too close? There's another look at that sack on Vernon Adams.
Just like I should, I'll get you good.
Well, after 3 years with the BC Lions, Adrian Green's first year with the Calgary Stampeders has been extremely impressive with 6 interceptions. For more on him, let's send it down to Tom Gazzola.
Yeah, he comes into action, Dusty, tied for the league in interceptions, and he says he's leaned a lot on Baron Miles, the DB's coach for the Stamps. Of course, Miles, 12 years in the CFL, finished up, tied for second all-time in interceptions with Larry Highbaugh, the Elks great, Edmonton Elks, Eskimos great, I should say. And Green said that he goes to Miles all the time, tries to pick his brain, and it led to him getting these 6 interceptions thus far. He only had 3 coming into this season. Guys, we asked him, have you ever picked off Cody Fajardo? He thought about it, smirked, said, not yet. Still has some time to get that first one against Fajardo.
It's good to have that confidence, and why wouldn't he?
Well, you know, Fajardo took a shot down the field in the first half and completed a deep ball on him, and I thought, was he peaking, doing what Baron Miles did 66 times in his career, interceptions, and there he is in the all-time list. Les Brown way out ahead of everybody. There's Larry Highbaugh, as Tom mentioned, and I was a teammate of Terry Irvin's. T.I. was unbelievable when it came. He lives in Calgary now, I believe, still.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They'll hand it off. Nowhere to go on that one. Rankin gobbled up immediately by Jacob Roberts, who came into this game with 84 tackles on the season.
Yeah, Calgary is tuned in to 5. So if they're going to keep just handing them off, that's why, you know, especially offensive coordinators or former quarterbacks, they just stop running the ball after a while and use them as a ride the side type of play where you're faking it to Justin Rankin and throwing the football, and I think that's what Cody's going to have to do.
6 tackles and a sack for Roberts here tonight. Fajardo tried to go back to Rankin, missed him. He was under pressure as he threw.
Adrian Green, couple pick sixes and 6 interceptions when, as Tom mentioned, coming into the season in his entire career, he had 3 total. So he's doubled that total in one season, a couple of touchdowns, big plays. I mean, he started that Hamilton game after Calgary had lost 4 games in a row and went over to Hamilton and took Bo Levi Mitchell. He didn't score on that one, but took it down inside the 10 on the very first play of that game, really set the tone.
Both of his pick sixes coming against his hometown team, the Argos. Got to feel good. Here's Horton. Whoa. Jumped up and taken down after a 61-yard kick. Really didn't have anywhere to go. Coverage down the field, and VA once again with this 9-point lead will get the ball with 2:34 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that whole discussion about how long do you leave VA in, well, it changes now because it's only 2 possessions. And Dave Dickinson wants to keep that thought of hosting the semifinal alive. They have to win to do it. And BC still has control. So it's just win tonight and then hope the Riders help you tomorrow night.
Adams clicking along at 80% tonight. That'll help. Finds Jones, the former member of the Elks, takes it down to the 35, a big one from Tevin Jones. Anytime I see this guy, I go, why don't they get the ball to him more?
Yeah.
Said the same thing when he was here in Edmonton. He's a heck of a player.
Yeah, you know, and when we talked to Dave Dickinson this week, he brought him up before we did, and it wasn't like we were saying, you know, let's talk about Tevin Jones and you know why he might not get the ball as much. But he brought him up and said, boy, I like him. I think we're you know, looking at a guy that can be a perennial 1,000-yard receiver, given the opportunity.
This time on the ground. Mills trying to find space. It will not come. He is taken down. Garnes and Johnson in on the play.
I mean, he's thick, too. He's 6'3", 225, Tevin Jones. So he's one of those guys that on the play that he just had, that little bender route, which VA has thrown pretty well tonight, it's almost like some DBs are going to hesitate when they go to stick their head in there and try to make a tackle on this guy.
Big body.
Yeah.
Coming over the middle.
Sometimes you make a business decision to go, oh, just.
Well, he's a bit, I remember
I'm trying to drag him down, not
chatting with him when he was playing with Edmonton. Loved getting on special teams. Loved being involved in that physical side of the game. Here's Adams trying to spin away, taken down, balls out, but multiple flags on the play. VA ends up on top of it when it's all said and done. We'll find out what those flags are for.
Back-to-back plays where VA lost the handle on the ball. I thought that earlier one might have been a fumble.
Number 67, 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay second down.
I'm sure Elk fans thought it was. They ruled him down and sacked there, and that was recovered by Vernon Adams. So Calgary regains possession.
So this will be a second and long for Adams. Have to find 23. Field goal attempt from about here would pretty much be midfield. They'll have 4 receivers. Out to the left. He looks to the right. Pump fake there. Now dumps it off to Mills. Read well, and he's got nowhere to go. They'll take him down, and that'll bring up third down. Noah Taylor all over it. Noah
Taylor is doing his best to imitate Derek Moncrief here and read the play. I mean, he reads the play so quickly that he runs past that front offensive line's trying to get out in front of that, and he runs right past him. And VA goes, wow, that was a good read.
Three quarters in the books here in Edmonton. It is the Calgary Stampeders looking to remain in the hunt for a home game in the postseason. Looking to take the season series from their provincial rivals as well. Calgary Stampeders off to the postseason after this. They've got a 19-10 lead, and their quarterback playing pretty well right now.
Yeah, if you look over the last 2 games, 2 games and 3 quarters up to this point, Vernon Adams is completing over 80% of his passes. He has not thrown an interception in that time, and it looks like his game is back. This is the team going to the playoffs, the Calgary Stampeders. They'll go as far as number 3 is going to take them. And he needs to get his game back. He needs to get his mojo back. It looks like it's happening. This game still has some work to do here tonight, but I think if you're a Calgary Stampeder fan, you're excited about your quarterback finding his game again, finding his form.
Came out of the gate really hot to start the year. Battled through some things in the middle of the season and is dialing it in right now for the Stampeders. Fourth quarter begins. Edmonton down 9. Fajardo quickly gets it away. And And back into the hands of O.J. Hilaire, who coming into this game, since starting for Edmonton, has been catching balls at a 74% clip.
So a couple of areas offensively that Edmonton will look at in the offseason, try and bring in as much competition as possible. Receivers, certainly.
I think they're good at running back.
Real good at running back. And I would suggest O-line they can work on, maybe in the draft.
Pressing outside. There you go.
One of the reasons they're starting Gregory Eland over there at right tackle.
5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Taking a quick look at him, they saw some of Carter O'Donnell out of the University of Alberta in games previous to this one.
Yeah, he'll be a big part of what they're going to do next year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, but I really believe this team has turned the corner, and I think there's lots of people that would like to have seen this team in the playoffs, and maybe some teams that didn't want to see them in the playoffs.
Pump fake for Fajardo. Now lays one out there into a window. Hilaire says he caught it. Calgary is saying, no, you didn't. And a discussion from the officials.
Well, I saw him get in behind coverage out of the gate, and it looked like he had a long way to go to do it. But you could see a little outcut, and then he takes it up. Delaney Robinson bites on that out, and he catches it, turns, and the knee touches inbounds. They're going to take a look, or is Dave Dickinson challenging?
Well, Edmonton was trying to get that away right away, and Dickinson did get that challenge flag thrown just in time.
Calgary is challenging the previous play. They believe the pass was incomplete. The play will be reviewed.
Let's give you a look at it as we step away. Replay center will take a few looks at it. Spectacular effort from Hilaire. Oh, and he got there. All right, here's another look at this one that they are reviewing right now. You see Hilaire, he has it. It comes down. Is his hand under it? Right there. That's what we'll have to determine. Let's get the ruling.
Upon review by the replay center, the call on the field is overturned to an incomplete pass. It will be third down at the 13-yard line.
Well, a big swing for sure, because now it'll be back. Third down and a punt from Jake Julian. This is a different look at it.
Well, ruled a catch from the on-field officials. Dave Dickinson, by the way, is right there. So he has the best angle to see whether or not the tip of that football hits the turf as he's going down. I thought from the angles that we saw and the fact that it was ruled a catch, you can't tell if his fingertips are underneath it where it hit the turf or not. But the replay center thought otherwise.
Morton midfield, caught it on the run, took a heavy pop on the return. That's Jacob Lamunden, who had some speed coming downhill on that one.
Yeah, and didn't even break down to try a tackle, just ran through this one.
So you want to return kicks, hey kids?
Yeah, oh man.
This drive starts on the Edmonton 46.
Hey, Mom! Hey, Dad!
They'll give it to Mills. A yard, maybe two. Choquette into the game.
Mills had a pretty good lead for the rushing title coming into this game tonight. A.J. Ouellette and Butler play tomorrow night against each other. Especially if Calgary hangs on to win this game. BC's going with all their guys.
Mills is at 65 yards right now with Choquette into the game. First time we've seen him tonight. DA second and 8 will be throwing. If he can, gets away from some pressure on the run to his right and has to to throw it away. Eventually ran out of room. I think he wanted Alford to maybe come back towards him.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't.
Yeah, he did. That's basic scramble rules. Now, Damian Alford's a young player, so he'll figure it out, and I'm sure VA will take a breath and then go talk to him about it. But any deep routes, when your quarterback scrambles, you come back towards the line of scrimmage. Any short routes, intermediate routes, you turn it up and go deep. Those are the basic scramble rules. And Vernon wanted Damian Alford to turn around and come back towards the line.
All right, so instead of about a 52-yard field goal, it will be Bassett to kick it away. Hangs one up there. And that one will bounce into the end zone. Leak will take a knee.
Here are your nominees for outstanding players from the Edmonton Elks. Justin Rankin, the MOP nominee. Joel DeBlanco, outstanding Canadian. And Cordell Jackson is a no-brainer. You know, when you look at his stat line and just the changes at linebacker and things and the juggling they had to do. Javon Leak on special teams. What do you think?
I think it was a pretty easy decision. Yeah, I think so.
There's DeBlanco, didn't finish the second half here. It was nicked in the first half, but
since becoming a starter,
80 tackles.
DeBlanco had 75 tackles in his 11 games as a starter. Yeah, a few before that, right? So giving him an opportunity. Boy, it's been a long night for Rankin. This time it's Tights who's all over him, and that'll be a tackle for a loss.
Yeah, they're just, you know, Calgary has brought everyone towards the line of scrimmage. They've got them tight up there in the box and making sure that they just take away run lanes. And the next step offensively when teams do that to you is to try to go down the middle or down the field with the big throws off play action. And Cody Fajardo hasn't been able to do that yet tonight.
So a second and long for Fajardo. Calgary just sends four. Going to bring a little bit of pressure anyway. Cody tried to escape, dumps it off. It's bobbled. And that's the rookie running back running into the veteran linebacker in Moncrief.
Isaiah Knight had a chance at it. He caught 57 passes at UBC as their starting tailback. And so he does catch the ball well out of the backfield, but he took a peek down the field and then said hello to Mr. Derek Moncrief, who once again has been all over the field tonight. Definitely could have been. Nothing against Clarence Hicks and his big season, but definitely could have been a nominee for outstanding defensive player.
Oh, and I think Hutchins could have as well. So that shows the type of year that they've had defensively. 56-yard kick. Horton brings it down, runs into a wall, and is taken down just outside the 20. We'll take a look at what Calgary has moving forward for their award nominees when we return to Edmonton. Welcome back to Edmonton, where we gave you a look at the Elks nominees just a few moments ago. Here's a look at who Calgary is sending forward in this.
Yeah, Dedrick Mills, two running backs, the MOP candidates from their respective teams. Jalen Philpott resting in this one, but I think he'll be back for the playoff game, the semifinal. And, you know, I really like Chris Fortin's chances. I just, filling in for Bryce Bell early on in the season and playing as well as he has at center. Center is a very difficult position. You got to know everybody's responsibility, get the ball back to your quarterback, and make blocks.
They rave about him. This one is batted away by Jalen Garnes, who's a rookie nominee on the other side of the field. In the end, there will be a guy by the name of Trey Vavel in the West who has a lot to say about that conversation as well.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'll make an argument that on every snap, Chris Fortin has to be on top of his game, where Vavel's, you know, been very dynamic in that return game and had the 4 or 5 big plays. But they're 4 or 5 big plays. This is an every down guy since Bryce Bell went down early in the season.
A strong argument indeed, as the play-by-play guy who likes to call kick returns. Here's a deep shot down the field, looking for Barnes, broken up. Made a pretty good play on it. But in the end, 2 defenders there. There's Garnes again involved for Edmonton.
Yeah, and a backup DB out of UBC, Jarrell Cummings, who comes over and helps out. He's got deep responsibility, and when Vernon Adams launches this, Barnes is open. You see that help from the inside, number 18, Jarrell Cummings. And Garnes, they go up, and there that little hit didn't allow Barnes to regroup. Thank you, regroup and grab it. Oh my goodness.
I gotcha.
Thank you.
Regroup. All right, massive low snap, gets it away. Leak had to back up after a 55-yard kick. There's a flag. Leak is tackled and taken down. Another flag on Edmonton on the return.
That's it from right here, bro. Come on, gang.
Let's take a look at the night for Jalen Calhoun in his double E debut.
Illegal block.
Fresh legs, you can see that. Good bounce to a step. Good recognition against zone coverage. That both those catches you just saw were against zone coverage, so good recognition there and excellent concentration on his first touchdown in Canadian football. So a chance to show Mark Killam and this coaching staff that, hey, I could be a starter next year. What do you think? Good training camp, good preseason.
Yeah, there could be some spots open. So after the penalty all the way back to the 25, Fajardo gets it away. And that is into the hands of Hilaire. And Hilaire has really become a go-to guy for Cody in the back half of this season.
Yeah, you know, he has. And last year, guy that was on the practice roster with the Hamilton Tiger Cats and cut him loose, and they got a chance here to. First game was in that Labor Day time with the Elks and had a couple catches in that very first game.
Hilaire's got a team leading 73 receiving yards tonight. Fajardo,
nice catch.
Guns one in there, and Hilaire comes back to it. That might be his best work of the night.
Yeah, real nice catch, because this is a tough one. He's running around this. Again, it's a bender around the linebacker and then has to go back the opposite direction and snag it. And then keep it off the turf.
Got strong hands on that play.
And learn from the deep one that got called back. Keep that off the turf there.
Isaiah Knight in the game at running back. Fajardo knew where he was going with this one, finds Victor, made a move, and he's got another first down for Edmonton. 8 minutes on the clock. They can finish this drive. All of a sudden, things get interesting.
It really does get interesting, and they need both, right? They're 2 scores down, so don't have to get too greedy here as long as you get into field goal range for the first one. Clearly, every drive, the expectation is to try and score major, but you need both. You got to be smart with the ball.
Fajardo's up to 272 yards, 20 of 26, touchdown, and the 1 interception.
But up until last game against Edmonton or BC, which again we talked about them kind of running out of gas in that one because they were in playoff mode for a month and a half. But he had gone 6 games without throwing an interception.
It was over 180 pass attempts without a pick.
Maybe the best quarterback in the league this year protecting the ball.
Work from the 45. Fajardo down the field, up for grabs, incomplete. Trying to find Hilaire again. Tough guy to work against in Adrian Green.
Adrian Green is in a one-on-one up here because it's a safety blitz, so he's gonna take the deep route and watch him try to high point it. Remember when Tom talked about him saying, I haven't got Cody yet? I think he had his eyes on this one being the one he gets him. And Hilaire played defense.
Yeah, I was going to say defended well, essentially, by O.J. Hilaire. Now Fajardo, a flag as he takes off. Little pump fake. That looks like it'll be a hold and be coming back.
This is what I mean about decisions. You know, this is game management and knowing that you need 2 scores. You're down by 10, so you need the field goal too.
Holding.
And you can't have that.
Edmonton number 61.
It takes you out of field goal
Taking a
range.
penalty. We're going to replay second down.
10th penalty of the game on Edmonton.
So in that situation, again, game management, Cody Fajardo doesn't want to take a sack, or you don't want to take a penalty.
Well, Martez Ivey started at left tackle tonight. Remember, he got hurt. And now they've been running Mark Evans in there, and he's been victimized a couple of times. 2nd and 20 for Fajardo. Can he get him back into field goal range, maybe? Not going to happen. He is wrapped up. Didn't even have to take him down. Clarence Hicks has his 12th sack of the season.
Let's take a look at Clarence Hicks in his office coming off the edge. Little inside move and then a spin. That was Gregory Eland, the newcomer.
So from out of field goal range, and now a blocked kick. Getting in front of it. Breeze. Still kicking around. Edmonton will pick it up. And that is where they will end up blowing it down.
Back-to-back games for Brady Breeze, backup defensive back out of Oregon.
He came flying in there, didn't he?
Got a second one, got a piece of one last week.
More than a piece of this one for Breeze.
Just like I should, I'll get you good.
Well, what a play by Brady Breeze to block that punt attempt. Now his team will have the ball on the Edmonton 6. 28-year-old out of Oregon making the play.
Like him, man. I think he's got an upside there.
Vernon Adams looking to put 6 more on the board here. VA. It is he throws. Almost intercepted. Logan wanted another look at that one.
Let's go back to the block by Brady Breeze, and I'll show you the personal protector. Isaiah Knight has a decision to make. He's got to step up first, take the inside, and if he doesn't see anything inside, step out and make sure he gets a piece of Brady Breeze. He didn't. He missed him. Breeze gets there. Second game in a row on the teams that he's got a piece of a punt. Last week, it crossed the line of scrimmage, but Calgary got possession. This time, it's a block setting up great field position.
2nd and goal from the 6. This time, they'll give it to Mills. Back to the line of scrimmage. No further. And will it be another chip shot here for Paredes? No.
I know it's tempting, but I'm taking the points here. Taking the 3 points. I mean, the first couple of drives for Calgary for Dedrick Mills, pretty good, and then since then, Edmonton has kind of locked that door.
All right, so 3rd and goal from the 6, and they are going to go for it. Mills to the right of VA. VA throws it. Tackle made, and a turnover on downs. Ford makes the play for Edmonton. 4.5 minutes on the clock. Could have been a 13-point lead, but instead remains 10.
Yeah, I wondered about that. You know, I mean, I'm taking the points there, and it's not second-guessing the coach when you do it before he makes the decision. Still got it a 10-point game now.
Instead of a touchdown and a field goal, it would have been basically
two majors. Two majors to come back. Yeah,
interesting. Still comfortable.
And if you turn it over, you're putting Edmonton inside their own 5. That's another angle, and your defense playing well.
Well, let's see if it comes back to factor in here. They'll hand it off. And that is Knight pushing it all the way out, just shy of the 10. Got about 6 yards on the play.
So we've seen some good from Isaiah Knight, usually with a guy with an R beside his name, meaning rookie. There'll be some good and some bad. He was the personal protector on Brady Breeze's blocked punt. Seen some good physical runs up in the middle, and then had that one drop in the throwing game, passing game.
2nd and 4. Fajardo trying to escape from the end zone. In trouble again, and he will be taken down. Surprised we only saw Cody tonight for Edmonton.
Yeah, I am a little. Well, you know, when I saw the depth chart, I guess we shouldn't be, because Trey Ford, who was number 2 all year, was dropped to number 3 behind Cole Snyder for this game. And, you know, when Tom in the first half talked about that relationship between Cody Fajardo and Mark Killam and how they feel like they see the games the same, and that Killam would love to have Cody back next year. I think that goes without saying. He didn't get into that discussion with us on the week Zoom calls, but he, you know, clearly likes Cody. They see the game the same way and would like to have him back. And I don't know if Trey Ford is back in Edmonton next year.
Towering kick, 62 yards. Horton makes a couple of guys miss. And finally, they will track him down. Luke Burton-Cron, the long snapper, making the tackle there. And we're inside 3 minutes. Two more games to go before we lock in for the CFL playoffs.
Does he play?
No.
I'm just saying.
No. No!
He's gonna.
Yeah, Lions still have Rourke going. They want to wrap up that home playoff date on the West Coast. They'll wrap up the doubleheader, final game of the season, Riders and Lions.
Two great young guns in that promo, eh?
I mean, those are great faces of the league there.
Absolutely.
2.5 to play here. Calgary leading 20-10. They'll give it to Troquette. Broke a tackle, pushing it ahead. Mogensen, Ford, making the play for Edmonton.
Yeah, now if you're Edmonton, you got to tackle the ball. Rip the ball out, even if it means a missed tackle and Choquette picks up some extra yards because of it. Defensively now, you got to go for the ball. Get the quick turnover. Give your offense a chance. But a couple of first downs and Vernon Adams can end this.
They'll need 8 yards here. Brooks and Barnes will slide over to the right of their quarterback. VA gets it away. It's Jones trying to reach ahead. Pretty good effort. See, that means you're looking for small victories for Edmonton. Even with a loss here tonight, they will finish above 500 at home for the first time since 2019. So
yeah,
something to cheer about at Commonwealth.
Yeah, some great talent out here. Rankin leading the way, even though it's been a tough night tonight. Clearly Calgary was focused in on trying to keep him under wraps, but keep in mind, like Niles Morgan, Nick Anderson, Royce Metier, those are a lot of
Ceresna, Robbie Smith.
Yeah, a lot of guys that'll be back, and well,
or might not be. Like I think
yeah,
right, there's some decisions, but they've been missing those guys.
But they're part of this organization, and the young guns like Mogensen and DeBlanco that have got great experience because of those injuries to Niles Morgan and Nick Anderson, that bodes well for the future as well. So, you know, yeah, they have to go out and bring in competition at some positions.
Timeout, Edmonton.
But I wonder about Trey Ford's future. I hope that another team gives him an opportunity, in that he has got such great athletic ability, and if someone can tap into that, and then he brings that personal responsibility of leading a team that he has probably learned throughout this season from one of the best in the business at it, Cody Fajardo, who's been a champion and led Montreal 2 years ago to a Grey Cup. But you know he'd have to restructure for sure if they both come back to Edmonton.
Yeah, he got that contract. They were expecting him to maybe be the guy this year. He brought in a veteran like Cody as insurance, decided to go to Cody about 6 weeks into the season. Haven't looked back since. Been 500 since. And we haven't seen Ford again since in any fashion.
But you just, if you're reading the tea leaves here, and you saw him go down to third on the depth chart for this game tonight and then didn't play at all tonight. If he's in the plan in Edmonton, he plays tonight.
Probably would have seen him in the game at some point.
Yeah, I just... Now, again, Coach Killam didn't want to talk about it and won't until after their wrap-up meetings and things like that. But it's a stretch to think he'll be back here, I think.
BA pulls it, finds Barnes. Barnes has the first down, and now he will go down with just over a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, that pretty much does it because you're down 2 possessions. And this is a playoff team now that is putting a little pressure on the BC Lions and saying, listen, tomorrow night in Saskatchewan, you got to go out and take care of your business. BC still has control. They win, they get second and host the semifinal. But Calgary's now put the pressure on them winning this game tonight.
Mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Calgary has been streaky this year. They won 2, then they lost. They won 3, then they lost 2. Then they won 3. Then they lost 4 in a row. A win here would be a 3-game winning streak heading into the postseason for the Stampeders. And I think Dickinson would have to be happy with that.
Absolutely, and the fact that they have lost around 29 players, I believe Coach Dickinson said, to injury at different times and had to make a whole bunch of different decisions defensively when it came to their front four. Their secondary has basically looked different almost every single game in the back half of the season. Playing with 2 Canadian corners, which we can't remember ever happening in the history of at least recent memory. But Delaney Robinson and Adrian Green have both been playing corner the last 2 games. And doing well.
Hand it off again here to Choquette, getting some reps at the end of this game for Dedrick Mills. And what a turnaround for the Calgary Stampeders. About to secure their 11th win of the year after having just 5 last season.
And keep in mind that this is Calgary last year when they didn't make the playoffs was the first time in how many years? I want to say it was like 19.
I believe the saying is forever.
19 in a row. So 19 of 20 and they're back in to the playoffs this year. So great turnaround with a very young lineup, youngest in the league.
Some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, a veteran quarterback, and one of the best running backs in the league. Calgary will take the season series, and they will wait to see what happens with the BC Lions tomorrow against the Riders. For Edmonton, the last we'll see of them this year. Be interesting to see how they start next year.
Yeah, I think their arrow is up. I think they've turned the corner, and we'll see what they do at quarterback. That's where it starts. Calgary, on the other hand, their quarterback has found his game again heading into the playoffs.
Vernon Adams Jr., very efficient last week, had that perfect quarterback rating. Tonight he goes 17 of 24 for 285 yards and took care of the football. So after a 5-win season last year, the Calgary Stampeders go 11-7 and will head into the playoffs on a 3-game winning streak. And Vernon Adams, playing pretty well, could be dangerous in the West. And another offseason looming for Edmonton. 20-10 the final in the Battle of Alberta. Sports Center is next.
Stampeders, Elks, a Calgary win and a Lions loss on Saturday will guarantee the Stamps host their first home playoff game since 2019. First Stamps drive. Vernon Adams Jr. threads the needle to Tevin Jones, goes upfield and gets brought down at the 1. They punch it in and take a 7-0 early lead. Late second quarter, now 13-0. Cody Fajardo finds Justin Rankin in the flat. He makes multiple guys miss before crossing the goal line. But hold on. Bailey Devine-Scott with a great effort punches the ball out before Rankin crosses the line. Rankin doesn't pick up the ball. Multiple Elks players run past the ball in the end zone. Calgary's Delaney Robinson picks it up. It's ruled a fumble and recovery by the Stamps. After Stamps field goal, next Elks drive, Cody Fajardo's pass deflected and picked off by Jaden Grant. Stamps up 16-0 at the half. Third quarter, now 16-3. Adams finds Eric Brooks, and he's off to the races. He gets taken down near the 5. They'd settle for a field goal. And fourth quarter, now 20-10 Stamps. Elks trying to punt, but Brady Breeze flies in for the block. It nearly goes back into the end zone. The Elks would fall on the ball. Calgary improved to 11-7. They'll finish either second or third in the West.
All right, let's move on to the Red Blacks and Ticats. Hamilton can clinch top spot in the East with a victory. First quarter, Bo Levi Mitchell finding Tim White for the touchdown. Mitchell's CFL leading 35th TD pass of the season. Then the second quarter, the Ticats driving up 13, but Mitchell can't handle the high snap. The Red Blacks recover the loose ball, and on the ensuing possession, Ottawa, a little bit of trickery here. They run the flea flicker. Tyree Adams completes it to Justin Hardy. It's a 36-yard pickup that led to a touchdown. Hardy going over 1,000 receiving yards for the third straight season. Red Blacks down by 7 late in the second. Hamilton driving. Mitchell hooks up with White for another score. And Bo Levi setting a career high with 36 touchdown passes in a season. The Ticats led by 19 at the half. And then in the fourth quarter, it's Hamilton up by 17. Check out Braxton Hill. He tips the pass, comes up with his second interception of the game. The Ticats defense had 6 picks on the night. They clinched the #1 seed in the East with a 35-15 victory.
Well, boy, you said coming into this week to earn this win, it would mean everything. Here we are off to the final. What does it mean to you?
It means the world. I mean, the way this team's come together all year, ups and downs, everything like that. Just to see us kind of come out here and put a game together, it's impressive. But we got bigger goals in mind.
Set a career high as well for yourself, the 36 passing touchdowns this season. How has the offense opened up for you this year?
Just putting the trust in Scott, right, allowing him to put the trust in me, just coming to work every day. And just blessed to have the guys I have. One of the best receiving corps I've ever been around. And top to bottom, the O-line, our running backs as well. You see it tonight. When we play like that, we can put a big game together. So just excited to see what we can do in the playoffs.
Now, there are still playoff positions to be decided on Saturday. A Lions win in Regina means they would host the West Semi. That's because they swept the season series against the Calgary Stampeders. And with more, let's throw it over to Kate Burness and the panel.
Alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Siegel, and a little more clarity when it comes to the playoff picture in the CFL after the doubleheader on Friday. Let us begin in Hamilton, where the Tiger Cats took care of business. And look, now they host the Eastern Final. They get that very critical week off. They're East champs for the first time since 2019. And right from the get-go of this game, you knew that they were on a mission, Enoch.
That's right, Kate. They came, they saw, they conquered. They came into this game hoping to win this game to lock up first place, and they did just that. They didn't leave any doubt that everybody in that stadium knew exactly that the Hamilton Tiger Cats were the team, the dominant team, and they left no doubt at all. So you got to give a credit to the Bo Levi Mitchell, that whole entire offense. But you talk about this defense and the confidence boost that they get at the last game of the season. Yes, it's the Ottawa Red Blacks, but having a few interceptions the way they did tonight is absolutely a confidence boost. And, going into next week where they get a bye and they're preparing for the playoffs, that's something that you want to remember so that you can be best prepared as possible for the first week of playoffs.
This team is healthy, You're right. They accomplished what they need to accomplish tonight. This team is explosive. That's what I see when I see this Hamilton team. It starts with Bo and obviously Kenny Lawler. But this defense is making plays as well. If they can find ways to slow people down, to make some plays with their explosive passing game, they're a tough out. Now we know what it is. It's one game at home to the Grey Cup for this team. And with that explosive offense, watch out. I'm glad they got through healthy. In this situation, you want to get home field, you want to secure that, you want to be healthy. They accomplished that.
Now, it didn't feel like it was dominating of a victory when it came to the Calgary Stampeders. And we watched the Hamilton Tiger Cats have fun, too, by the way, in that win over Ottawa. But for Calgary, they did the exact same thing. They needed that win, and they needed it because there are so many different scenarios right now in the West, and they took care of their business.
Right, and they don't know if they're going to get an opportunity to host a playoff game, but they did what they had to do, and regardless if they get the host or not, they're going in with some momentum, and that's exactly what they needed. You saw the way they started off this season, and we were all saying this is the best team in the CFL. They had some injuries. VA started playing bad, and they had a slip in their game plan. They lost 4 games in a row, but now they ended the season on 3 victories, and that's important, regardless of where you're playing. If you have to go to BC, if you get that home playoff game, you have that momentum. VA is playing well. Dietrich Mills is playing well. And even more important than Dietrich Mills and VA, that defense is getting back to making some plays and putting this team in a position to win some games. So these Calgary Stampeders, yes, they would like to have a home playoff game, but I think they're in a good position the way they're going into the playoffs.
And the best part of all of this, we have 1 day remaining in the regular season. It's week 21, and there still is so much on the line when it comes to the final 2 games.
So as Kate just mentioned, the season ends on Saturday. Here are the odds at FanDuel. The Blue Bombers host the Owls as a 3.5-point favorite. That is followed by the Lions as a 6.5-point favorite in Regina. The Riders know that they will host the Western Final on November 8th. All right, straight ahead, Steve Phillips joins us to explain how the Jays were able to break open Game 1 of the World Series against the defending champs.
And the scuffling Leafs get some good news between the pipes. See if they could get back on track against the rival Sabres.